Welcome to a brand new episode of Johnson's Court. Today I'm super excited to have Mr. Beagle back. Beagle, say what's up.
Up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? Ready to do another podcast? Boy.
There we go. All right. Beagle's buffering a little bit. He's all the way out in Philadelphia. My screen's buffering a little bit. We've had some storms the past couple of nights, so hey, who knows? The storm's probably going out to Philly. You never know. But if our buffering goes too bad, then we'll just call each other and then we'll just keep it going. So it'll work. But with that being said, last week Jack was on the podcast and let's just say his week didn't go as well as what he thought. He didn't keep up his good record. Jack went 5-9, so had more losses than he did wins. But for me, I went 7-7. I had a 500 record, which is better than what I've had a lot of the times. And then Beagle went 11-3. Now let's give congrats to Beagle, man. He is just killing the game out here.
Big difference from last year. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Exactly, big difference. So with that being said, my record is 50 wins, so I at least got to 50. 57 losses and that one tie. Beagle is at 66 wins, 41 losses and one tie. Beagle, you're blowing me out of the water, dude.
I was hoping to keep it up.
And hey, it'll probably happen if you continue to make the right picks. And the way this NFL season is going, you just never know what's going to happen. And I feel like I got to pick a lot of upsets this year, to be honest.
It seems like it's been the year of the upset.
So maybe instead of being the year of the quarterbacks or the backup quarterbacks, it's the year of the teams that aren't so good. The upsets. Year of the upsets. But also mediocre football being played. Now, with that being said, we're going to go and talk about the NFL news. I'll go ahead and get started and go ahead and talk about the Colts. They're not doing too well, not doing too hot. And then we'll also talk about the Bears as well. Just kind of funny that, my team, Beagle's team is being talked about this week. But, the NFL is a business, and that's just what's happening. So, Matt Ryan, or Matty Ice, a.k.a. blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, is getting benched. Now, never in my years did I think Matt Ryan would be benched. For as good a quarterback he can be, for who he is going to be benched for Sam Ellinger, who is the Colts' 2021 sixth-round pick. Now, I'll go ahead and give my opinion about this, and I'll let Beagle chime in here in a second. If we believe that, Matt Ryan's, kind of got a dislocated shoulder or whatnot, needs to come back, stay healthy, I get that. Then Sam Darnold or Ellington needs to prove his worth. He needs to play well. He needs to adapt to the system pretty well, and he just needs to, get comfortable. I know this is probably his first NFL start or whatnot. I know he played a little bit in the preseason, but just with that being said, I think the Colts, the biggest thing for us is we need to stop trying to replace Andrew Luck. I've talked about it with a lot of Colts fans, talked about it with a lot of people. We need to stop trying to replace him and just still think that we can win a Super Bowl with the roster that we have. Now, yes, our defense is a Super Bowl roster team. I believe that. But I think our offense is just still kind of struggling. I know we've got better on the offensive line. But we need to pick a quarterback. If we're going to draft one, which we have, then we need to run with that. That's my take.
Yeah, I feel like shake me too. I did not, like you said, not ever imagine that and get back that. And the 28-3 knee I saw that like his starter tenure was like 28 weeks and 3 days. I think that's what it was. Like they are finding a new way every day to calm this man.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. I personally thought we were gonna go with Nick Foles because I think he's still on your team.
Nick Foles is still there, but they're not starting him for some reason.
Well, I like that they're going young. It's good that he's got two big veteran quarterbacks there to learn. So hopefully, he can just start learning and start adjusting and start some NFL speed. So he can just start progressing. Hopefully, it's the right move for you guys.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Now we're going to talk about your Bears. The Bears decide to trade Robert Quinn to the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, who are undefeated, for a fourth-round pick. Big, I'll let you go ahead and talk about this. What do you think about that?
Kind of sudden because I was just checking my phone today and I had to take a double take because the Bears are just trading away every good quality player and they're not getting what they want out of it. Fourth round pick out of it. which is all right, but there should have been more to it. Like, I feel like we could have got like a third and a fourth, or a fourth and a, like 2 to 3 picks, because he did just break the Bears single season sack record that was held by Richard Dent last year, and now again with the 8 sacks. So he went off and had a quality year, and this year he's not as big as last year, but he's still being productive, still being a force out there on the field. So we could have got a little more with him, but now the Bears are embracing that big mode and trying to stock up as many draft picks as we can. Unfortunate part is we still got to pay out his back contract, but he's coming to Philadelphia. He's coming out here, the already squad of the defense. So it's gonna be real interesting to see how he adapts here in Philly.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's pretty big. Being breaking the all-time sack record for the Bears, and just to get a fourth-round pick out of that. You think like you said, I agree with you. You think you'd get more for that, but I don't know if it's just because teams are like, oh, it's the Bears, we can just get whatever we want, or we can just run all over them or whatnot. And I just think the Bears need to know more of their self-worth and be like, hey, yes, I know we're kind of rebuilding, but we also need to set ourselves up for that future. Yes, a fourth-round pick, yes, you're going to get something out of that, but what if that was a third-round pick? You know what I mean?
Someone they could have picked sooner, or someone that's like available at that time that they can't get now.
Exactly.
Young players are, but still.
Exactly. Now that's NFL news. That's wrapped up that segment right there. Going into our third segment before we get into our picks. Now, I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit this week, kind of a little bit different, but we're going into the NFL Power Rankings. Now, I've already did my 1 through 5, and that's all we're doing. And I want Bigo to give his 1 through 5. First, I want Bigo to give your number 5, and then I'll give my number 5, and we'll kind of go back and forth like that. So, I know you're probably looking at different teams and what their power rankings are. I know I went to NFL.com to kind of see what they had. Didn't do it exactly that they had, but just kind of want to give a reference of what the current NFL power rankings were and see where I wanted to put mine. So who do you have at number 5?
This is tough. At number 5, give me the Vikings. I feel like that Kirk Cousins having the best start career right now. They're leading the NFC North. What's their record right now? 5-1. So I thought they were that 5. They're 5-1. Looking real solid right now. Dalvin Cook's been playing pretty good. He's been playing pretty bossy too. So they've been pretty solid right now. 5-1, give me the Vikings.
All right, he's going to go with the Vikings. Now I'm going to take the other team that is 5-1, and I'm going to go with the New York Giants. And the reason they're 5-1, correct?
They're 5 or 6. They've got lost. Let me see. 6-1.
Okay, 6-1. So they actually got one more win than what I thought, because the Vikings had their bye week. Okay, makes sense. Now, the reason I give the Giants the number 5 spot, which would definitely be a good for the Vikings as well, I like that pick that you put there. I just believe that the Giants deserve that because of just the way they've been playing, with the way that they just blew up their front office and they got new pieces, and they're actually using Daniel Jones. He's still being a runner, he's doing passing, but I saw this stat and I took a picture of it, and I'm glad we're kind of talking about it now. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Oh, there it is. I'll find it. It's under my Google Photos. I didn't see it for a second. Right here. This season alone, Daniel Jones has 5 game-winning drives. No other quarterback has more than 3. Now, that contributes to all their 5-game wins. So, with that being said, they came back versus the Tennessee Titans, down 13-20 with a minute left to go in the fourth. They were tied 16-16 to the Panthers, came back with 3:39 left in the fourth. Green Bay and the Packers and the Giants were tied 20-20 with 6 minutes left to go in London. Came back and won. The Baltimore Ravens were up 20-17 with a minute 46. The Giants win. And then the Giants won, coming back down from 17-13 with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth. So that, for me right there, I think the Giants, eventually they have to start going down. I just believe they will. And I think they can still they can still be a wild card spot, but they're not going to win their division. I think the Eagles are just too good for them. The Eagles are too good for them. And then, with Dak Prescott coming back for the Cowboys. But I'm going to give the Giants a number 5 spot there.
So, my number 4 spot, I'm going to stick with you, but I'm moving them up 1 spot. Give me the Giants. It just seems like that basically that they are coming in clutch when they need it. They're keeping games close. They're not getting blown out.
Mm-hmm.
So like when it comes to down in one drive, Daniel Jones has been that man to give that drive. Let's not forget Saquon Barkley, who's been hurt the past 2 to 3 years, and like you haven't heard much of him since like 2018, 19.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's, I think, in the league in the rushing, if I'm not mistaken, playing like the most. I think he could get comeback player of the year.
For sure.
Vote for that. But the Giants are just playing solid, and they don't have no big name really wide receiver. They're just playing like we said with mediocre football being played. The Giants are playing the good football with not besides Barkley and Jones. They're playing as a team, and we'll like to see that 6-1. Put them at the number 4 spot.
I like that as well. I mean, I think we don't have anything mean to say about the Giants. I think we just have nice things to say, and it's been great to see that the Giants are coming up and doing well. So shout out to you, Joey, for your Giants to be 5-1 or 6-1 actually. Now for me with the number 4 spot, I know you might disagree with this a little bit, but I think that with the new addition that they got from the Carolina Panthers, I'm gonna put the 49ers at number 4. Now I know they kind of got blown out to the Chiefs. Yes, but at the same time, this was Christian McCaffrey's first week. He got traded in midweek and then flew there and then still started the game on Sunday. But I just believe that once you give them the team chemistry and whatnot, the 49ers will definitely stay in the top 5. I know that they'll be a playoff team. And they can still potentially win that NFC West. I mean, that NFC is up for grabs as of right now. Seattle Seahawks is first in that division. So with just everything and all the weapons that Jimmy G has, and they want Jimmy G to get the ball out of his hands, I'm going 49ers at number 4.
Yeah, that was a big trade, man. I know him and Debo, like, they're almost one and the same. So one's a wide receiver and one's a running back. So you got 2 of the same things going at you. Here.
Exactly. I mean, they can both switch off and play. So, who you got at number 3? Oh, shoot.
Well, they haven't looked like they did last, but they're still out here competing. They did get the Bills. Was it last week before?
Week before, yeah, because they beat the 49ers.
Yeah, that's right. But, Patrick Mahomes out here being productive. Now, he had that 1 interception, but other than that, he's been pretty solid. 5-2 on the season. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. I actually had my number 3. I had the Chiefs as well. And the reason I say that is because they're learning how to use Juju Smith-Schuster. They're also learning how to play football without using Tyreek Hill. And I think that's the biggest test this year is not having Tyreek Hill. And, okay, Patrick Mahomes, yes, you've been this great quarterback, potentially the next Tom Brady or whatever you want to, call what Patrick Mahomes is. And it's like, okay, how can you play without your best wide receiver that you've had for the past couple of years? And I think they're doing great. You still got Travis Kelce. That defense is still looking pretty good. But, they're playing team football, just like you said the Vikings were. The Giants were. So, just to see the Chiefs being able to play, and they're in a pretty hard division in the AFC West. So, Chiefs being at number 3 definitely doesn't come as a shock, but they could not be 5-2. So, for them to be where they are, I'm happy for the Chiefs. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you the number 2 pick of my power rankings, and I'll let Beagle go. So for number 2, I've got the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, yes, they're 6-0, going for 7-0 this week. But the reason I put them number 2 is because I've got one team above them that is just playing harder, and that it's just, I just believe that they're, not to say that they're a better team, but right now they're a better overall team. With the Eagles, I think they're firing on all cylinders. Their running game with Miles Sanders, their passing game with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. But then they just got better at defense. So potentially I might put the Eagles at number 1, depending on how they play this Sunday. So as of right now, I've got them at number 2.
All right, my number 2 spot, I'm going with the team that beat the Chiefs 2 weeks ago. Give me the Bills. Josh Allen is playing like an MVP candidate. And Bond did pick up Von Miller this year, and he is, for how old he is, he's being productive and showing that contract he got. But yeah, give me the Bills at number 2.
So it's kind of funny that he says that because I've got the Bills at number 1. That's the team that I was talking about. Now, like I said, you can honestly probably flip-flop 1 and 2. And Beagle, did you flip-flop 1 and 2? They did. So he's got the Eagles at number one. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. They're the only undefeated team left. A lot of people think they can go 17-0. I think they definitely will lose a game, and I think they should lose a game. I've talked about that before. You need to lose in order to win again, especially going into playoff time. You want to make sure that you know what it feels like to lose. So when you get to the playoffs and you're coming down the nitty gritty, you don't lose, and then just kind of go through that experience. You just want to get that loss to get it out of the way. But like I said, I think the Bills are number one team because they're firing on all cylinders. You brought up the great points of Von Miller and just the leadership and everything he's doing for them. That defense is playing really, really well. Plus, the Josh Allen's playing like an MVP candidate, and they're just firing on all cylinders. I think that they're playing great on offense side of the ball and defense side of the ball. So they are just out here and, they know what it feels, especially Stephon Diggs. Like, he knows what it feels like to lose, and he doesn't want to be there again. He watched the AFC celebration that the Chiefs had, and he doesn't want to go through that again. So, he's here to win. He's here to elevate that offense, and that's exactly what he's been doing. So, give me the Bills, but Beagle, give me your reason for the Eagles.
You said that they think they can go 17-0. I'm looking at their schedule ahead, and there's a good chance that we'll get a real. We play the Steelers this week, and then the Texans on Thursday night, followed by the Colts, and then the Packers. When we know they haven't been playing the best this year, and it's at home here in Philly too. Then they play the Titans. Let's go. Yeah, I'm going down the list, and there's a good chance they might do it. Obviously, there's the NFL's obviously, it's been that year of the upset, so who knows? But yeah, Jalen Hurts is playing like MVP candidate. He's running the ball well. He's passing it around really well. AJ Brown's a top 5 receiver. Miles Sanders is a top 5 runner or rusher. On top of like a top 5 defense, so everybody is playing very well. Very limited mistakes. They've had like 5 turnovers all year. They've been playing amazing. And like I said, they're only undefeated team left due to the fact they have no losses, put them at the number 1 spot.
And it's not to say that I completely disagree with you because you make valid points. And my number one is the best team in the NFC. Your best team, your number one is the best team in the NFC, and so it's really hard to be like, oh well, yeah, they definitely don't deserve to be number one, because it's not to say the Eagles don't deserve to be number one, and it's not to say that the Bills don't deserve to be number one, and these could be our future Super Bowl matchups, and that would be great to see. Teams that don't necessarily make it there all the time, and I think I was talking to somebody about that, and I was like, is Tom Brady going to miss the playoffs? Are the Green Bay Packers and the Rodgers going to miss the playoffs? We'll talk about that next week, because that's something that I want to say for next week to see how well they do this week before, I start to raise that question. But, and they were saying to me that, it would be a good thing if they missed the playoffs or something like that, because, the new generation has to come in and the new players have to, make it there. And you also just want to see that as well.
This is probably no karma for that. Aaron Rodgers, that was probably the big question, was like, why is Aaron Rodgers doing this, even though they got rid of Devontae and whatnot. But, if they don't make the playoffs, that's going to be a real question if we see them play again next year. Because I know Aaron Rodgers is starting to get up there in age as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now we're going to go into our picks of the week. Now, I don't know. I might disagree with Beagle a lot. I might not, just because we can't keep agreeing on picks and whatnot. Because if we do, then his record's just going to keep going up. So we'll see what happens this week. Beagle, start us off on Thursday Night Football. You've got the Baltimore Ravens coming in and playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who you've got winning and why?
I think this is going to be a really good game, actually. The Bucs coming off that big loss, only scoring 3 points against the Commanders. Yeah, against the Commanders. I mean, not the Commanders, the Panthers, excuse me. So, they're at home now. They're looking to get something going. But give me Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I'm going to go with the Ravens. I feel like we've had a bad case of bad Thursday night football. We had one good Thursday night football game all year. I feel like this would be the second one.
No, I have to agree with you. And, not to say that, I normally wouldn't go Tampa Bay and the Buccaneers, but they're just struggling and they just need to figure it out. And, playing on Sunday and then turning around to a short week and playing on Thursday, I just don't think that's enough time. With that being said, I've got to go the Ravens. But the only way I see the Ravens losing this game is if they give it up in the fourth quarter. If the Ravens and that defense cannot stay together, then I don't know what to tell you. The Ravens have to be able to close out games, and if they don't, they're going to continue to lose. But I think that with the new addition of Deshaun Jackson, I believe that the Ravens will overcome that defense kind of not playing so well, and their offense will put up even more points on the scoreboard. So I'm going Ravens here as well. With your second game at 9:30 in the morning, I'll be sleeping, so will Beagle, in London. You've got the Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson finally coming back, playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Beagle, who do you got for this one?
Man, that's another quarterback we haven't talked about that's really been struggling. Russell Wilson, what's going on with him? I know QB's been injured, but he's just been bad. We've seen pictures of him missing, not looking at wide open receivers, and just not being the Russell Wilson that we know. Jaguars just traded away James Robinson. I feel like this is a low-scoring game. Give me Jaguars.
He's going Jags here. And I have to agree with you, man. I don't want to go Jags here, but I'm going to go Jags because the Denver Broncos just haven't proven enough to me that Russell Wilson is ready. He's coming off the injury as well. And the Jaguars, yes, they did just trade their running back as well, but they still got that other running back from Clemson, so I'm excited to see what the Jaguars are going to do with this game because the Jaguars are playing pretty well this year, and they're doing a lot better than what I thought they were going to do. So I'm going Jags as well. Your first 1 o'clock game is the Miami Dolphins and the Detroit Lions. I'll go ahead and start it off here on Sunday, and I'm going to give my pick. And now, not to say that I'm I definitely know who's going to win this game, but I'm leaning more towards the Miami Dolphins. And the reason I say that is because Tua played pretty well versus Steelers, didn't really get hit too much or anything like that. And the Lions just aren't playing too well. Jared Goff they're kind of, the Lions give up the most amount of points, but then they were scoring the most amount of points. So I just don't know what's going to happen. If they're giving up the most amount of points, then Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are going to have a day, and that's why I got to go with Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on this one. Give me the Dolphins. I know the Lions, they just have their defense is at the bottom of the league, and if Tua is playing well against a pretty solid Steelers defense, then I think he'll thrive against a bad Lions defense. So give me Tua.
True. I agree with that. Then you've got the Carolina Panthers somehow trading Robbie Anderson and, just mixing up whatever they're doing in their organization, winning versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This week they're playing the Atlanta Falcons. Beagle, do the Panthers get 2 in a row?
I feel like last week was indeed a fluke. I do love seeing, what's his name from the XFL? Slipping my mind. What was his name?
I think I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember his name.
From the XFL legend out here beating the GOAT Tom Brady without Christian McCaffrey, without Robbie Anderson.
Yeah.
Rumors of DJ Moore maybe being out the door as well. Panthers are they're just everywhere right now. Give me the Falcons. I think Marcus Mariota hasn't been playing terrible all year. Give me Marcus Mariota.
I think you hit all the points there, man. I've got to go the Falcons for everything that you said, and that's just it. I don't have nothing more to say. You said it all. Then at 1 o'clock, you've got the Cardinals coming in and playing the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I think this is going to be a great game. I'll go ahead and go first on this one. I believe that the Vikings are going to play. It's not a primetime game. Kirk Cousins doesn't really have to worry too much about that. So he'll be able to play better. Dalvin Cook, the Vikings are firing pretty well, but I think the key to this game is going to be Adam Thielen. I think he needs to, get more into the game, being that slot receiver. But the Cardinals are going to play well. They got D-Hop back, so this will be a second week back, but I think they might still have a little bit of miscues and whatnot, so I'm going Vikings.
We have our first disagreement. I'm giving the Cardinals. I don't even know why, so I'm just telling you to pick them. I know D-Hop is now back, and he had a pretty good game last week. I know him and
Mm-hmm.
Kyle had connection, and when they're feeling it, that's going to open up the door for everyone else to come through and make their plays. So give me the Cardinals.
It's going to Cardinals. Not a bad pick there, but our first disagreement. Then you go with the Chicago Bears playing the Dallas Cowboys. Beagle, I'll let you go first on this. Who are you going to pick here? I feel like I know, but go ahead.
Do I want to? You know what? I'm just going to say this is the trap game of the week. This, I feel like, will expose the Cowboys. The Bears still have a strong run defense, and that's how the Cowboys thrive, is by establishing a dominant run with Zeke Elliott. Cooper Rush is hit or miss. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad. But then it's the battle of two great defenses going at it. Give me the Bears. I'm going to go with the Bears on this one. Trap game of the week.
Okay. I feel like, it's always hard to, fade your team. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, if I do, then they're probably going to win. And that normally happens. With that being said, I'm going the Cowboys. Zeke Elliott's not playing this Sunday with a knee injury.
Not well.
He's not.
That helps then.
He's not playing. And Dak Prescott is back. So, like you said, it's about the two defenses, and I think this is a game that the Cowboys need to win in order, to still keep a pretty good record. So I'm going Cowboys here.
Yeah, they need this. They do need to win because the NFC East is just crazy right now.
Then next you got the Las Vegas Raiders coming in and playing the Saints. Yes, who do you got here?
The Raiders just been not it this year, despite getting Devontae Adams. Give me the Saints.
It's going Saints. Now the Saints let me down last week. With that being said, I don't know if Jameis Winston is going to play this week or not. And if that's the case, then I'm going the Raiders. But I think that Devontae Adams and Derek Carr, I think they start to figure it out the second half of the season. At 1 o'clock, you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in and playing the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that Beagle and I both know who we're both going to pick, so I'm going to go ahead and write down, and we're going to fly with the Eagles, right?
Yeah, I'm fine with the Eagles. There's two great defenses, but however, the Eagles have a great offense as well, and you need to score points in this league. So give me the Eagles.
Not necessarily. I mean, you can be the Colts and Broncos and just score 3 points, so you can still win a game without scoring a touchdown.
It's a win in this league, then.
That is true. That is true. Now, I want to say it now or later. I'm going to save it. The 1 o'clock games that I think is the game that is going to be a toss-up this week is the New England Patriots and the New York Giants. Now, I'll go ahead and go first here. I think, man, this is a hard game. This is my primetime 1 o'clock game that if I'm going to watch any game, it's going to be this one right here. Mac Jones is starting for the Patriots over Bailey Zappi. The Jets did just lose their star running back with a torn ACL. Bill Belichick is a hell of a coach. But I think Zach Wilson gets it done. I'm going Jets here. Going Jets.
I'm going to ride the Jets too. Sauce Gardner has just been a clamp this year, locking down everything thrown at him. People have been trying to expose the rookie, but he has been clamping. Losing Breece Hall is very, very tough. He was
huge.
More than likely probably here. So that's tough. They did go out and trade for James Robinson to help fill that hole. And Michael Carter's going to have to step up. So it's going to be interesting. They are in the MetLife Stadium, so give me the Jets.
It's a good divisional game as well, so it'll be a good game, I feel like. Next, you got a divisional game as well. The Tennessee Titans coming and playing the Houston Texans. What you got here, Beagle?
Ooh. This is another good one too. I feel like no one's gonna watch this game, but it's gonna be decent. Give me the Titans. I feel like Derrick Henry just owns the Texans and just runs all over them. I feel like this is gonna happen again.
I've got to go with the Titans as well. I mean, the Texans have not played too bad this year. I mean, still bad, but not as bad. I mean, they're still playing a little bit better, especially being in the AFC South and, tying against the Colts. So, The Titans definitely need to win this week, and that's why I'm going to Titans. Now, the game that I have for the trap game of the week is going to be the New York Giants playing the Seattle Seahawks at Seahawks. Now, with that being said, the Giants are playing pretty well. I think this is their first real, true road game just because they're playing in the Seahawks Stadium. And, everyone's got to be on their P's and Q's inside that stadium. The Seahawks are, playing pretty well as well with Geno Smith. We talked about it the week before with Jack. I'll look it up here. Geno Smith is 73.4 completion rating, 1,500 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions with a pass rating of 108. So with that being said, I got Barkley in my fantasy. Give me some points. Let's go Giants.
Now this is a real tough one because I know the Seahawks defense is definitely very lanky and they like to give up a lot of stuff. Geno Smith deserves most improved player of the year. I feel like because no one saw him coming out and doing this. Someone said, I can't remember who it was, but they said if you were to trade the nameplate of Smith and put Russell Wilson, you'd be talking Russell Wilson and MVP caliber seasons. It's hard to get a win at the 12th man. This is definitely going to be the Giants' real test if they pull this off there. Give me the Giants. Give me the Giants.
I was about to write down Seahawks. I really thought you were going with them.
I almost did, but last second,
Change of heart. Then at 4:25, you got the Washington Commanders coming in and playing the Indianapolis Colts. Big, I'll let you go first here.
Man, poor Carson Wentz, man. This was about to be his reunion, from, last year. But with him being out, I got Tyler Heineke. I really want to see what your young guy does. Is Jonathan Taylor healthy?
I think he's playing. I don't know if he's fully healthy from his ankle injury, but he's playing.
Give me the Commanders. I'm going to go with the Commanders on this one.
So just like you, I can't fade my team because I feel like they get a win here. I feel like they get an ugly win. With that being said, the ugly win is going to be a low-scoring game, and I think our defense is going to keep us in there. I think Sam, struggles a little bit, starts to get in his groove a little bit, but he's going to probably have a terrible, I wouldn't say terrible, but a bad game overall. But I think our defense is what's going to help us win this game.
Yeah, defense wins championships.
All right, down to our final 3 games. Our last game at 4:25 is the 49ers coming in with a new addition of Christian McCaffrey facing the LA Rams. Now, I'll go first on this one. I think this one is a hard pick, just because it's the NFC West showdown. The Rams need to win desperately here. The 49ers need to win desperately here. The Rams are coming off of a bye, I believe, and the 49ers are coming off a loss to the Chiefs, a big one. But with the addition of Christian McCaffrey, I just think that the 49ers are going to win that division. Not to say that the Rams don't have star power as well. They definitely do, 100%. But I just think that the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, and how many weapons that Jimmy G now has, adding Christian McCaffrey is going to help them and do them a lot. And I think that's what's going to help the 49ers beat the Rams.
Matthew Stafford has just not been playing like he has last year. The defense hasn't been as dominant as last year. And then going and getting Christian McCaffrey now was a great pick to help spread out this defense. Give me the 49ers.
Okay, we're both going 49ers here. Now, with Sunday Night Football coming on, I'm definitely watching this game for sure, at least in the first half. It's the Green Bay Packers playing the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Green Bay Packers are traveling to Buffalo. This is going to be a hard game. With that being said, Big, I'll let you go first. But before I let you go first, I want to let you know, for the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career, he is a 10-point underdog.
Wow.
Let me know how you feel about that.
I love to hear it. I love to hear it. It's kind of shocking that this, of all games, would be that big of an underdog. They're on the road, so that does make sense. Man, this Bills defense is just too scary. Give me the Bills.
Not only is the Bills defense too scary, but the wide receivers for the Packers need to get their stuff together. And like Aaron Rodgers said, kiss it. Keep it simple, stupid. And if that's what he needs to do, and these wide receivers just need to continue to get better every week, then that's what's going to happen. But I think the Bills are just going to run over them just like they did the Tennessee Titans. So if I had to guess, the Packers get the ball first. First score to bet on, if you're 21 years of age or older, defensive score. I'm going to say it.
You put it on a defensive score.
I am. I'm actually going to do that.
And we bet it.
Now, for the last game of the week, the Monday night game. Now, this will be a pretty good game, I feel like, with the Cincinnati Bengals coming in and playing the Cleveland Browns. The Bengals haven't played too bad, start the season off there a little shaky, but they've been able to, kind of come back around. The Bengals played pretty well last week. Joe Burrow had, I think, 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards. The Browns haven't been playing too bad this year with Nick Chubb, definitely getting a lot. I think he leads the league in rushing yards, I believe. Maybe touchdowns as well, I'm not too sure. But this game is going to be a great AFC North showdown. Big O, I'll let you go first. Let me know what you think. You got the Bengals flying high here, or do you got the Browns taking a dump?
I can't. Yeah, like I said, Bengals will definitely get together. They've been starting to lower their, the whole line's starting to come together and play. But Nick Chubb has just been dominant. Give me the Bengals. Give me Joe Shiesty, Burrow, and Jamar Chase taking off.
Yeah, they played well last week in the first half, and were able to continue out in the second half. But I was just like, I have to disagree with Beagle, whatever he picks on this game. I just have to. So I'm going the Browns here. I don't believe that they take a dump, but I believe they flush the toilet on the Bengals. And the reason I say that is because Nick Chubb has just been playing really well. No, they don't have Deshaun Watson back, but he's coming back week 11 or 12, whenever they play the Texans, I believe. So coming back soon. And, Jacoby Brissett isn't playing too bad, and I just think that the Browns, I think this will be a good game overall. I think it'll be a closer game than what a lot of people think.
Yeah, I have to agree with at least the closeness of the game.
So that's it, guys. That is a wrap on Week 8. I've got my picks, Beagle's got his picks, and we'll see if I can edge even closer. But that's it. We'll just see what happens. Maybe I need to change on my picks. I mean, I can't do that now because I already wrote them down. But we will just see what happens, and then we'll come on next week for Week 9, and we'll see where we're at. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Give this a like, a share, a shout out, and until next week, we'll see you then.